Islands. Those places in the monster world where monsters live and where things happen. You might have noticed that they seem to have faces on them. I mean, except if you're playing Dawn of Fire, in which case this does not apply to you. So, why exactly do they have faces? Do dipsters cause them pain by burrowing into their heads? Do mines hurt them? And what is with the seasonal shanty? The answers to most of these questions await us. In this, we will be going into the islandness aspect of the beings, not exactly the beings on themselves. Expect different videos on Colossals and Titans in the future. And also on the islands. This isn't a video on the islands, this is about the beings of the islands. So let's get into this. So first, let's establish the basics. Islands are either on a sentient being called a Titan, or they are a regular geologic island inhabited by a dormant spirit known as a Colossal, or their seasonal shanty. The next step is distinguishing between which islands are Titans and which are Colossals. Titans are every magical island in Island Skin, and everything else is a Colossal, other than the seasonal shanty. So now that we've covered the basics, let's go over the bigger questions. Why are there spirits in some of the islands? Well, summarizing all the stuff that doesn't pertain to them being in the islands, like expect a video on the Colossals in the future. Colossals are the spirits who created everything by performing an act known as the Great Song, it's a powerful skill that they have where they can create stuff by singing together in harmony. And after experimenting with their powers, they went and created the continent, the crowning jewel of the monster world, which eventually broke apart. To save the islands that the continent split into, the Colossals imbued their spirits into them, stopping the chaos and giving the islands their faces. But the price they paid for it is great, so now they are dormant and asleep. I mean, other than Composer Island, who's on the scene with the human world, which sort of affects why its eyes can open and stuff. Although, not all Colossal Islands were created in this way, there are 4 others. The Colossal and Tribal Island were made when some Colossals foresaw the destruction of the continent, and they disagreed on whether to train the monsters either individually or as a group, so they each made their own islands using both of their hypotheses. Wubble Island was made somehow by the Wubbox. We don't know how, we just know that its bio says that it was created by someone, and with Wubbox being the creator of the Wublins, it just seems logical to assume that it was Wubbox. And then finally, there's Fire Oasis. Fire Oasis was made out of blown glass by some fire monsters who wished to regain a spot on the surface of the monster world. The reason that it has a Colossal is because it shares one with Firehaven, which is also where they both have one singular eye. The Colossal spirits, 2 halves, are then also reunited on Amber Island in the higher plane. Dipsters and mines wouldn't ail them, exactly, as the islands aren't their actual bodies, although mines may still have an adverse effect on the environment, but who cares, it's not the Colossal. Now, what about the Titans? Titans are just beings that are naturally island-sized, so large in fact that they can fit an entire ecosystem upon their heads, and also, dipsters would just fit snugly right into their pores. Now, diamond mines, I don't know how there would be diamonds in their heads to mine out. I don't know how that would work, if that would harm them or not. Like, that's quite weird. Now, the origins of the Titans, unlike the Colossals, we don't know fully, but what we do know is that they grow up and age between multiple forms. You know the Gigacheep, that air island skin? Its young forms are those yellow tricks that go all around that you could hold in your hand. The Glubber's child form is the glub pole seen underneath the Party Island, and the Enchantler's child form is believed by many to be the singing monster Enchantling. One other Titan whose origin we actually do know is that of the Phosphor of Light Island, which came from the same dimension that the globes came from, that being whatever lies beyond the Prism Gate. Now, the seasonal shanty, what about it? The seasonal shanty was built by an unknown entity out of wood, and it floats atop the living ocean, unable to be tracked. Well, why can't it still have a Colossal like Oasis? Well, you see, I don't think that they've stated exactly 100% where it stands or not. They just haven't said that it does have one, so it's generally assumed that it does not have one. So basically, the answer is that we don't know.